Hey, screeners, how you doing? It's myself, the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And me, Nico Lero. Shout out to all of my Nicoholics. What up? We are back, and I would like to apologize because we didn't
Before
do
you
an episode.
apologize, just remember, just before you apologize, I think you said certain words may not be allowed to go onto YouTube, so you just may want to divert in how you explain your apology.
Thank you very much. Yes, well played, sir. Well remembered. I completely forgot that. Once you've been affected by it, it seems the YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to matter so much anymore. Well played. So for those of you listening on podcast, that statement's going to be inconsequential. For those of you watching live, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the YouTube channel, Silver Screen Dudes. We missed an episode last week. I apologize for that. It was down to me, this guy right here, Nico Lero, double V, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude, who I can't say the C word, but it's a C. It ends with the number 19. And it's referred to by some people as the global bastard. So I got it.
And you know what? Let's be real. You shouldn't really be making an apology. It's not that you've done anything out of the ordinary. You've been very compliant with all rules that's out there. However, fate has it that it caught up with you, and so it's not an apology. So it's an overall apology that we're not there, but it's sympathies from myself and the screeners. I shall speak for the screeners and wishing you a get well soon, bro. Because shit, me, that's a bastard to do.
Thank you. And yes, if you do hear me coughing a few times this episode. That I do apologize for, because no one wants to be listening to someone coughing in their ear, but I'll do my best to not cough. But yeah, if you've had it, you know what I'm saying. This thing hits you like a fucking freight train.
Yeah, I will say it's not been confirmed by any doctor, but I am 99.9% sure I had it prior to it becoming a global pandemic. And yeah, my God, man, it's just not easy. It's not easy. So we do salute you on this one. But hey, he's here and the show goes on. So thank you for making the effort, sir. It's been appreciated. It really has been.
Thank you guys for being patient for last week. There's something I'd like to touch on now that the Euro started. What the fuck is wrong with England fans? So I'm just gonna. And you think you know what I'm talking about?
I actually don't, because I don't follow the football like that. But hit me, because
England fans, the most Brexit thing I have ever seen in my life. The most Brexit thing I have seen in my
please don't tell me. I think I know where this is going. Hit it, and I will follow.
You know half of it. You probably know half of it. Okay?
Go.
But it was like, oh, we're not just going to be cunts here. We're going to be cunts there. And we're going to redefine what the word classless means. Now, you have to appreciate there is obviously a lot of jingoistic patriotism that happens whenever there is an international football tournament. I get that. Completely get that. Right? But hell, what England did yesterday, not the football team, love to the football team. Like, they put on a brave face while all that was going on. But first off, when the national anthem is playing, now I appreciate Croatia knocked England out of the last World Cup in the semi-final. You do not boo another country's national anthem. You don't do that. France are playing Germany on Tuesday. There's some history there. Believe me, the French are not going to be booing the German anthem. And much likewise, the Germans, who are literally listening to an anthem called the Marseillaise, which is about drowning the fields of Marseille in the blood of the enemy, in this case, the Germans aren't going to be booing that. You don't boo national anthems. And there were games that came before England-Croatia. There was no booing of national anthems. And all the games that came after, there was no booing of national anthems. It was just redefining island monkey classlessness in its purest form. And then to make things really worse, they boo the Croats during their national anthem. And I know that the Balkan War was a thing, guys, but that was Yugoslavia. Croatia are quite a new nation. And to my knowledge, they're not bad in terms of things they've done historically. They're not an evil nation. Or there's no evil nations, but they're not a nation which has got some less favorable moments. England is. Jesus Christ, Rule Britannia and all that. Henry Morgan, yeah, the Caribbean looking at you, my brother. Yeah? So, who invented concentration camps? Oh, yes, the British in South Africa during the First Boer War. So, if there was ever a country to boo, it's the English. But does anyone boo God Save Our Gracious Queen? Fuck no, because you don't boo a national anthem. It's just wrong. And then do you know what they do? The England players take the knee and the fans boo their own team. Like, what the fuck is wrong with the English?
This is the half I knew because it was the half that
I knew that would be the half.
It was the one that was expected. People were like, will they actually boo? Like, are you really going to go there? And that's exactly what they've done. Now, for anyone in Europe, in fact, you know what? No, for anyone around the globe listening, as the two British idiots that we like to call ourselves, we apologize. We fully, I've thrown it back up at you, bro. I fully apologize for the lack of humanitarianism, shall we call it? Just the fact of respecting anybody else. You know, there's this there's this British pride that needs to be checked at the door sometimes. Now, we could talk about taking the knee and the fact that you know, what, for the respect that all races are equal. Okay, so boo that. And half of the players on your team happen to be of that nature to show that they matter. So they're good enough to score a goal.
One of them called Marcus Rashford, who just recently tried to help schools. Let's boo him. Who boos Marcus Rashford?
Have you seen the tweet he put out about freaking like maths teacher or something having a go at him? Like it's ridiculous and sad.
What the hell? What is wrong with people?
And then now they're booing Croatia. Okay, here's a little quick newsflash, guys. The Lannisters did not exist. So that castle that you're seeing there, they didn't have the almighty evil Lannisters from fucking Game of Thrones. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Just an ounce of respect.
I'll be fair here, okay? Because there's also some shade I'm going to throw at pretty much all of the former Eastern Bloc countries. Yeah. Ukraine, Russia, Croatia, all of that. None of them took the knee. Now, with Russia's a sticky one because they have, please don't come and kill me, but they do have a bona fide psychopath as their prime minister. Vladimir, hey, brother, I'm talking to you. You are crazy, man. You should die. But yeah, I appreciate if the Russians take the knee when they've been ordered not to, someone in their family might meet an untimely demise. I get that.
Or the Ukraine, like, let's be honest.
I get it. I get it. The players are afraid of their, tyrannical dictator. I get that. Ukraine, Croatia, and what fucks me up about this? The not counter argument. The argument that's been thrown up in their defense is like, oh, but BLM doesn't affect them. Why would they take the knee? It's like, right. But here's where that argument falls flat. Because a lot of these Croatian and, Eastern Bloc players play for massive clubs. And when they're playing at club level, they take the knee. So all they're doing here is they're coming as majorly hypocritical at best. Just fucking racist at worst.
But bro, this is the problem. And I always hate being the black guy in this one, and no, I'm proud of being a black guy, but to put the black guy statement. But what I'm getting at is that you say this stuff and it's like, oh, of course he's going to say that. But it's like, hold on. Let's just take like 2 seconds to focus here. It doesn't affect us. That's the entire point of Black Lives Matter, you prats. It's because it doesn't affect you. So try to understand it from someone else's point of view for just like 10 seconds. That's all the world is asking for, right? Literally 10 seconds on one knee. Oh, but it doesn't affect us. So you're still of that mentality of, well, you know what? That's their problem. We're just asking for a touch of unity, of sympathy. Yeah. So you
stop
going on your knee.
Stop the us and them bollocks,
Yeah, can we all be one for like 1 minute? Because you know what? When everyone takes the knee and it becomes something that we all recognize it, and then we're like, I understand what you're going through. And I'm sorry that discomfort of me being on one knee, even though I'm a highly trained athlete, being on one knee was such a strain for me, bugged you. Now I'm beginning to get a small, minute understanding of your lifestyle. Yeah. Then we could stop the knee. Because you know what? Now we're an us again. You know, one thing I would like to put out there in this world, and it's so weird, and it's one of those things that it could be discussed, but it was such an eye-opener. Dare I say, I'm going to get a bit personal here. We had a small stag do for my man over here. The inside, as I said, we are not the most traditional stag when it came to it.
We were not
But
permitted to have a
convo-
traditional stag.
Well, there you go. But one convo of actual life and understanding perspective.
Oh, it's an
is something
education.
I wished the world could have been privy to.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly.
Because I'm pretty fucking forward thinking, well, at least I like to think I am, you know?
Yeah.
There was some enlightenment that happened in that conversation. I was like, oh, wow, that's a thing. Okay.
Bro, it's funny because there's a video actually, and I tried to find it that day, and I've got it on my phone. I won't send it to you, where you could see 4 gentlemen, 3 stopped, 1 wasn't. You don't have to guess what that was about. They're all friends, by the way. So there you go. And that's how enlightenment can be there. But anyway, we digress. Again, as 2 Brits, we apologize. You're lucky. You can grab the French flag. I can't. I can only but apologize. I can only but apologize.
And I'm wondering, because, you know, obviously I've got my whole football team and they were all watching, you know, the game yesterday. And what bothered me inherently is that, so when I'm sure you've heard Christian Eriksen had a cardiac arrest on the pitch.
I heard about this, yes.
Terrifying to watch. Then they all jumped on, rightfully so, like a man's life was, you know, basically ended, and then they brought him back with a defibrillator, right? But when I put in the group, booing an anthem that redefines classless, I hope some of those England fans are ashamed. Radio silence. I would have expected 1 or 2 people to get on board and say, yeah, that was bad. It's like, no. Rule Britannia first, bruv. It's like, no. Fuck the waves. Fuck Rule Britannia. Don't boo national anthems.
Do you know, and I say this in all levels of seriousness, even though some may find it quite weird or funny. Taking it onto a wrestling side, if I hear the national anthem, I actually do take that moment of silence. Sometimes I'll even stand because I respect all nations' national anthem. I just find it so disrespectful. I could be anywhere. I could, as a Christian man, I could be around people of different religions. I will stop and acknowledge your prayer at a time if that's part of your tradition. I don't see how that is your approach. That, you know what, only Rule Britannia, screw the Croatians. And I don't. That's not me talking. We're just talking of that exact match.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Perfect word. It's classless and it is embarrassing. And anyway, who the fuck are the English to boo when the English have probably got the worst national anthem on the planet? That's just real. It sucks. Like, I've heard so many anthems in this Euro. I don't understand them, but you hear them and it's like, oh, that's a good anthem. The Dutch have got a great anthem. I hate to say this because I hate the government. The Russians have got a banging anthem. The French have probably got the best one. Of course, I would say that, but I also mean it. The Canadians have got a killer anthem. Killer national anthem. Oh, God save our great. Shut up. It's such a shit anthem.
Bro, it's sad.
No, Rule Britannia and all that stiff upper nipple chap. God save the Queen. Shut up. It's so crap. I mean, if you heard something like La Marseillaise and then you heard God save the Queen, one of these things does not belong. Come on.
Do you know, there are so many stuff that can come down to this imperialism that the UK has. It's ridiculous. I think one of the key questions that many people have asked is like, so only the Queen? Okay. Yeah, no one else needs saving. No, yeah.
This is it. Not the realm, not the empire, not the sovereignty, not even the colonies, not the Commonwealth. Fuck the Commonwealth. Queen.
There you go.
Australians and Indians. Fuck the Commonwealth. Save the Queen.
That's the one. Ant mentality. Ant mentality.
As I said, the most Brexit thing I've ever seen. We hate them. We hate us. We hate them. We hate us.
But this is where it gets bad. It's that you booed your. It's not even national pride because you're booing your own now. Like,
what the hell?
Might as well just have the over the Union Jack. You might as well just write the words "Nation of Hate." Like, we hate everybody equally. We're not racist. We just hate everyone equally. What the fuck? Come on.
I was like, what are we doing here? We're reenacting Chris Rock. It's like, who's more racist, white people or black people? It's like, black people, you know what? We have black people too.
Exactly.
You may as well have changed the word black people to English football fan. Who's more racist, everyone or the football fans? English football fan. You know why? They hate everyone.
No, come on.
They hate their own team too.
And it's funny because, you know, like, here we go again. All the slurs for Rashford. Let him bang one in the back of the net. Or Mr. Sterling. Oh, there you go. That's what it's all about.
Rule Britannia, bruv.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a tattoo of a British bulldog on my backside.
I mean, you know, 95% of the time he's a monkey, but he doesn't do too bad in the pitch. Fuck off. It's ridiculous, man.
And the whole goal came from one black player setting up another black player. Boo!
Yeah,
Oh, he scored. Okay, yay!
Yeah, keep the same energy. Oh, where's Wayne Rooney? Where's Wayne Rooney? Fucking idiot.
He was a proper Brit, he was. Where's Gaza? We love Gaza. Go on,
Let's
Gaza.
go fucking mental. There we go.
Fuck me. Honestly, I watched that yesterday and I cringed.
It's sad.
Anyway, that's 16 minutes of a rant.
Well, I was going to say, that is us. We've touched on global pandemics, then we've talked about indoor pandemics, indoor being the UK. And now I think it's time to talk some movies. Yeah, okay.
So after 1 week and 16 minutes, we're back.
There we are. So, I mean, do you know what we talked about? And this is the best segue. We've talked about flops. So we've talked about the global flop, our flopping in terms of respect. Now let's talk box office flops. There we are. So yes, after 1 hour and 16 minutes, this was one of our top. Was it fan selection? Am I correct in saying that?
Okay, so it was fan selection. This one did come from Andy Fandango at Fandango over Twitter. This was one of his picks. Let me read out the exact way that he phrased this. Let me just open Twitter up real quick and jump into messages. Andy, where are you, mate?
Well, Nico's listening to this, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, pay attention to that logo on top. Download on Spotify because you can catch all of the episodes, not just the past 4 or 5 that we have on YouTube, but you can catch all of the episodes of the movie Mount Rushmore. Also, shout out to Eunice and Anton, who I met yesterday, who found out that they're quite big fans of films, and we'll be checking into the movie Mount Rushmore as well. So I hope this could be your first episode. If not, hey.
This isn't Eunice at Arsenal Times, right?
No, this
different
is Eunice. This is Eunice, a young lady who's married to Anton.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like EU as opposed to white. Yeah, anyway, we won't get into spelling the people.
So what Andy said is, to continue a theme, how about a Rushmore of your favorite movies that flopped / lost money on original release? So it's a variant of what he suggested.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Do you know what? Let's be honest. I will be honest on this one because we kind of had like a week to discuss. I realized I missed out some stuff, man. But I thought I will keep it fair. I'll keep it fair and keep it as the list that I saw. Even though I think you would kick my ass in terms of flops. But hey, yeah, it's a weird one.
We've both left off the big one. John Carter.
Well, the funny thing is, I heard how bad it was and I never watched it. I was going to watch it to maybe put it down as worse because the feedback was absolute cack for that film. I don't know if it.
I'm wondering if it's like The Godfather 3, maybe misunderstood. I did want to watch it and then I saw it was a 2.5 hour runtime. I was like, COVID wins. God damn it. YouTube, leave me alone.
You know what? We'll be resetting algorithms soon.
And demonetized. Shit.
And if you would like to invest in the Silver Screen Dudes episode, please feel free to email us and we can arrange a little donation. That's all good. But aside from that, hey, it happens. But yeah, I get you, bro. I was on the same wave. I was like, I do want to watch this, but I'll be honest, at the moment, I'm Amazon Priming heavily. I'm really into The Boys, and I was like, I don't know if I can sacrifice time for The Boys for John Carter.
No,
like,
hell no.
You get where I'm going with this. I can't be on a run.
I'm glad you got on board with The Boys now. It's such a good show.
Do you know one thing I always say, and this is why I'm always open to something I say I don't like. I always say it's the wrong time, and I think the first time I watched The Boys, I was shattered, and I was like, "What am I watching?" I remember seeing the first part of the episode, and essentially their version of the Flash. I'm not going to get into it, so I'm just going to describe it for those who
A-Train.
haven't watched it. A-Train, indeed. But yeah, like you kind of see what a superhero movement at that speed can do to a human if he makes a mistake.
It makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
It makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. You're like, oh shit. Like that caught my attention, and then the rest of the show.
It, actually,
yeah. Exactly that. So I was like, ooh, like it caught me, but I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Then I thought, no. I keep hearing good about this. Let me give this a second shot. And I've actually put the CW verse on hold at the moment because I just need to diversify. And I was like, this is awesome. Like this is I'm in deep. Like any spare moment.
Season 2, even better. Season 2 is even better.
I'm looking forward to it. So yes, apologies, Mr. Carter. You are recognized as a flop by all means, but are you best? Are you worst? We don't know because we haven't had the time just yet.
Yeah,
that's the best way to word it.
Who's going first this week, by the way? It's me, isn't it?
Yeah, it is you. Okay, so before you do go first, and I feel bad because you're battling all you're battling. Would you like to tell people what the movie Mount Rushmore is all about, please, sir?
I'll try. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a like, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. Share the video with anyone who you think may be interested. If you're listening to us on podcast, you can find us on all podcast platforms on both iOS and Android. Please be sure to subscribe on those various RSS feeds. But how does the movie Mount Rushmore actually work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic, and this week it is by Andy Hart at Fandango Groover. We go our separate ways, right back here and record our individual top 10s. This week I will go first, delivering my bottom 3. AJ will then deliver his bottom 3. I will deliver my next 2. AJ will deliver his next 2. And then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 list, one person has the movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the higher position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10s, do not get the global bastard on me. We will create the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential, diverse, I guess, must-see movies of this genre, which this week is
box office flops. And in a way, it is, because these are the films that we're actually going out there and saying, you know what? They're not so bad. They're not so bad.
Yeah.
Give them a shot. Give them a shot.
Fair.
So I think they do fall into the category. Okay, sir. In at number 10 for you is?
In at number 10 for me is a movie that got a lot of hate. I get why, because it's very much a movie of two halves, much like a football game. Let's just go with the name right here. I'm going with Luc Besson's Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. Now, my reasons for picking this film, I actually think there was something here. It's based off of the comic book. Some people call it a graphic novel. It's a fucking comic book. I wouldn't go as deep as to call this a graphic novel. There's something here. Like, yes, there's an argument to be made that Cara Delevingne was miscast and she's not the finest actress in the world. I would say check out Carnival Row on Amazon Prime. She's actually quite good in that, but she hasn't shown her chops in movies. I get that. Dane DeHaan, I'll defend until the cows come home. I think he's a monumentally underrated and talented actor. The first half of this movie is damn enjoyable. And yeah, it smells like the second coming of The Fifth Element. And that's kind of the point. But there's this scene that will forever stay with me where they go to a market and the way that the camera moves through this market and the chase that ensues through this market, all in virtual reality, is the closest thing to being on a roller coaster without being on a roller coaster that I have ever experienced in cinema. It was an absolute feast for the eyes. Now, does a movie need to be more than a visual feast? Of course. Otherwise, it just becomes visual noise. And the second part of this movie, it goes complete visual noise and abandons all sense of tangibility or sensibility. But the first half, when they're setting up the characters, when they're going through the market, when they arrive on the City of 1,000 Planets, it's all cool. Like, I liked what I was being fed. I really engaged with what was being fed to me on screen. And yeah, it went to shit after that. And Luc Besson, man, he's in that boat with Steven Spielberg. He needs a career revival big time. Between this, Anna, which I know was a real bugbear for us 2 years ago. He needs a real revival.
That film, oh god, that film was, damn. No, I do you know the funny thing about Valerian is I do recall you bringing it up. season 1, possibly.
Possibly.
I do.
Oh, by
yeah,
the way,
I do-
just quick note. It lost $82 million, so it's flop.
You remembered the numbers. That's the one thing I kind of thought I should have added because I can't remember how much it is. But yeah,
Remembered shit. I've got them written down.
bro, like I had notes somewhere, I can't find them. But I can pull them up actually. But yeah, the main thing is that with that, I do remember you talking about it. Haven't got around to seeing it, but I do remember you saying it's similar to your Fifth Element, but not Fifth Element. Like you appreciate it. It's not as good. So yeah, that's a good reminder actually for me to check that movie out.
It's what it's going to look like on a small screen. I honestly don't know. I would certainly say do not watch this on a phone or on a computer. At minimum, this needs to be watched on a flat screen.
Oh, no, do you know me? It's very, very rare that a film isn't seen on screen. Like I connect my laptop to TV 95% of the time I'm watching anything. So
yeah, but it's a shame you didn't catch this one at the cinema because I would say that's probably the only way that this film is worth being watched. The story's not there for, and it's very generous with its runtime. It's like you could have trimmed some fat off the bone. But anyway, I had fun, at least with the first part of Valerian, and it's a shame that it flopped. There was something there. There's definitely something there. My number 9. This movie's never been brought up, and don't know why, because I have all sorts of fun with this. My number 9, going back to the 90s here. Wonder if you've seen this one. Sphere, with Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, and Samuel L. Jackson.
The hate for this, because my dad is sci-fi, so this would have been right up his alley. But I think the hate even kind of scared him, so it was something that didn't come into the house, and it just kind of died there.
Never got it. Never understood it. I'm seeing this through rose-tinted glasses of, excuse me, of a child. I maybe need to rewatch this, and there might be a load of people out there going, "Sphere's a pile of shit. Are you mad?" It's like maybe it's possible, but the memories I have from Sphere, I remember rewatching it a lot and always enjoying it. It's kind of like Event Horizon meets The Abyss. It's weird. It's really weird, but really good. So it's about a group of people who go to this underwater base. Now, first off, underwater, you've already got me sold. And they come across this alien perfect. We don't know it's alien, but it's alien, spoiler. It's this perfect sphere that just generates this energy. And it starts turning them all against each other. And it starts fucking with their minds. And much like Event Horizon, you never really see a real existing enemy in your face. But it starts to manifest itself mentally. It's very psychological warfare. But there's some fantastic scenes in this, and you're always left wondering, did that happen, or is the sphere fucking with them? And
interesting. Interesting. That I like that kind of.
And you're always left wondering. And then as they start to deteriorate into madness, these little different cliques start appearing. Sharon Stone's portrayed as the crazy, but then you're always left wondering, is she the only one on point here? And it's the others who have gotten crazy. Like, you're constantly wondering. I got a massive kick out of it. Massive kick.
Sorry. That is going straight onto the list because... And
it lost $61 million, which for the 90s is a fuck ton of money.
And that was Sphere. That's going,
and that's not adjusted for inflation, by the way. That's 61 million flat. Adjusted for inflation, you're talking over 100 million.
Ooh.
That's a massive loss, and I don't get it. I just do not get it.
Wow. Okay, yeah, big, damn. Okay, no, but that actually really sounds interesting. You caught me there.
Go check it out. Honestly, I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Cool. That's nice. Okay, that was your number 9.
My number 9, and now my number 8. This one definitely falls into the same category as Valerian in the sense that there was something there. But my number 8 is Mortal Engines. Now, Mortal Engines is... Excuse me. I do apologize, guys. Mortal Engines this is a bit of a weird one because I saw it, 2 years ago, and it's not a great film because I can't even really remember what it's about.
We can't just move on. I had fun. Move on.
Visually, there was something, much like Valerian, there was something there. I was watching this on screen going, it's visual noise in its purest form, but it's fun noise. It's basically like the world has fallen apart as post-apocalyptic movies, but on a big scale. Like, I think Peter Jackson even produced this. It's through the prism of, grandeur that someone like Peter Jackson loves. And basically, all of these different cities have become machines. So, and all of these different machines therefore have different cultures and different histories and different ideologies and beliefs. And it's about the people who aren't living on these cities, which are on these giant, and bro, I mean giant, wheels and machinations. And it's about the people, I think, I may be wrong because I can't remember it. I walked out the cinema and I was like, I'm never going to see that again and I'm never going to remember that. But I remember being I remember being impressed by the visuals.
This film, and I tell you what, yes, that is Peter Jackson's film, because I had to double check. Colin Salmon, who I interviewed once and spoke to about it, he was just in the recording of this and he showed me a chain that Jackson had given him for it. So yes, yeah, you're right. I do remember hearing about this film.
And this film lost some serious money. We're talking 174 million. This,
we don't even really need to adjust inflation on that because it was 2 years ago. So,
bro, that when you lose that sort of money, that's career over type thing. Mm-hmm. That's, you basically sent a message to the studio execs there that you cannot be trusted with big money. That's you resigned for the rest of your career to doing horror and romantic comedy.
It's unfortunate with Jackson, isn't it? Because
I don't know if he directed it. I do not know if he directed it. I only think he produced it.
Yeah, we shall see. That's a big blow, though. That is a big blow.
Massive.
You're now on Lifetime channel.
You really are. So that was my bottom three. Over to you.
Okay, right. In at number 10 for me, Will Smith, Ali. Bear with me a second. I actually do have notes here. I've got some notes. This was released in 2001 and has an estimated loss of 63 million.
Jesus Christ.
It's funny because I always felt Ali... It's weird because Ali would fall into an overhyped movie for me, which is weird because it's in my number 10. I appreciate it for two reasons. One, it's talking Muhammad Ali. Two, it's Will Smith. Like, I got to follow Muhammad Ali's story from Cassius Clay onto Ali. So I've always got that sentiment for it. And I always respect the graft Will Smith done to become Ali. Like, let's be real. Will Smith, as a Fresh Prince, was a lot smaller and he really got his position for that. The voice has always wound me up. It always wound me up. I'd have preferred to just hear Will talk as Will than try to be Muhammad Ali. It just didn't work for me. But the fact that you can follow the journey of Cassius Clay into Muhammad Ali, into the legend that is this boxing great, I will always give this film some time. And for that, that's where it is. So it's got some winning points, but I do appreciate it's not the it's not the winner. It's not the winner. So that's my number. That's my number 10.
Well played. Not much to add other than the fact that I think this film is bashed a bit too unfairly.
Fair enough.
In
at number 9, this one, more than anything, this is credit to my nephew because we had fun watching this one. Pixels. Some people hate this film. I found it weird of having Kevin James as the president. It was just a weird follow-up that the president's best friend is a sky man. Like, there was nothing wrong with that. Like, it could happen. I don't care who's friends with who. But it was like, but the only thing that kept them all together was gaming. But I had fun with it, seeing like your computer games in this weird way. What was it? It was the creator of Pac-Man, was it? Who came up? Was it Pac-Man's creator? That they brought him in at the end as well to try.
Oh, I haven't seen this film.
Have you not seen it?
Nope, you're asking me personally. I haven't seen this film.
Okay, so they're bringing the creator of one of the video games, and it's the actual creator behind it. But it's a nice, easy watch kids movie. Is
Donkey Kong in it?
You've got me scratching my head. I'm pretty sure Donkey Kong is in it. Yes, because I believe Tyrion Lannister, please. Peter
Charles Dance.
Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, I was thinking Tywin for some reason.
No, yeah. Peter Dinklage is in there, and we find out that he cheated to win at Donkey Kong. So there was a part where they have to challenge Donkey Kong. It's just all kinds of madness of retro arcade games and the villains coming out. So like how we have Wreck-It Ralph in their life outside of it. This is the actual video games coming into our world. So it's cheesy as hell. There are points where they're like playing. They become the Pac-Man characters by driving minis around town. It's crazy as hell. It's stupid, but it shocked me because I had fun with it. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, Pixels is a must-see movie, but I had fun with it, and I was just like, wow, they lost. Bear with me a second. If we are talking money. How much did Pixels lose? Alphabetical order. Sorry, I have to get this off of 75 mil.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's taken a bit of a blow. These films have taken some blows, man. But it was fun.
That's not fun money, that.
No. I mean, obviously in our world, you lost a mil is not going to be easy, but fucking 75 mil. I think even in cinema terms, that's like, ouch.
And remember, a lot of the times, you've got to remember one thing, guys. A lot of these times, the studios cover how much they've actually lost. So this 75 mil and all the figures I've just mentioned, that 174 for whatnot, it doesn't include it doesn't include the marketing fee. And the marketing usually accounts for about a third of the total budget. So add a third on to whatever number we're talking about, because the studios are so smart about, that 30 million there. They don't
later on, I think we can discuss this, right? Because Pixels, I will say the marketing definitely took a blow. Later on, I will revisit that. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
They never disclose marketing, ever. Even when it's a positive, because you've got to remember, whenever they're like, oh, the movie made this much, it's like, yeah, minus 50 million for your marketing. So, 100 million opening weekend. Yeah, minus 50 million. So it made 50 million opening weekend. So like, yeah, they're so disingenuous about that. And it's not like you have to do this deep research digging to find out these figures. Like, it's on Box Office Mojo. It's public domain knowledge. And it's like, why would you lie? It's one website where I can check this out. Why?
It's public domain. It's not locked up in the archive.
You know what I mean? It's not like that episode of Family Guy where Peter Griffin goes through the levels of security to get his porno mag. Like, this is really easy to find. Like, why lie? Why do you lie? Why do you lie?
It's sad. It's sad. It does no one no favors. This is the sad thing. But you know what I think it is? And let's be honest. Some of these execs who still live by this rule will tell you, just do that, right? They live in that very analog world. The world is too digital to try and cover up like that anymore. It was all good when you want to chat shit about Jurassic Park, like, do whatever you want. But like now, like, no. All I have to do is www. By the time I press the fourth W, it knows what website I'm going for. Give up. Like, yeah, it's there, guys. No, it's not good. Not good. Anyway. Here we go. And we will hit another one. This is a sequel, and I get it. It wasn't the first film. So, yes, I understand why it went there. But I had fun. Evan Almighty.
Not for me.
Bro, it's as I said, it's not the first film, and it's weird because okay, Evan took a hit. Sorry, I took a bit of time there to read it. Evan lost 88 mil.
I get it. Because Bruce Almighty wasn't that good either. It really wasn't. We all talk about that scene, obviously, which has.
I think this is the problem: is that you have it, and then you take the guy who created that scene and make a movie out of him. You're like, it should work, and this time it's not God. You
and
become
Steve Carell. Like, we all love Steve Carell. I hope we all love Steve Carell, but yeah,
I'm on board. I'm on board with Carell. I'm very much on board with Carell, and I think this was one of the time, and I think it is that. What I found with this film, Evan Almighty, to me, is very much like Santa Claus the movie. You know, the Tim Allen one where, yeah,
I got a kick out of that.
But you get what I'm saying? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you say that again? So I didn't hear you.
It's better than Elf.
Okay, I might have gone for a third time, but we may lose follow. Hey,
no. But just in case, it's better than Elf.
you go. No, honestly, but this is it. So I always saw Evan Almighty as that film of a guy who the world thinks is going crazy, but he has been bestowed these powers. You know, with Bruce, he is God. He gets to manipulate you. In this one, he's becoming Noah, and it's like, what the hell? And I just took it in that vein of this is this generation's Santa Claus. And that's why it became an easy watch for me. I'm not saying it was a brilliant movie, but I'm like, well, if you can appreciate that, you can appreciate this. If that makes sense.
This for me was at a time when comedy was going through a really weird patch. We weren't getting a lot of good comedies, and this seemed to be like what the benchmark was.
I think that is also another thing. And one of the key, again, it does come into it. Like I, again, hadn't seen, and to be fair, haven't seen The American Office, right? So I'm catching
mad, by the way.
Come again?
You're mad, but
bro, I'm ticking stuff off. Let me finish my 8 episodes and then we'll see what comes left, yeah? Just let me finish season 2 of The Boys, right? But no, like this. So what I'm seeing is, yes, I knew him as a 40-year-old virgin, which was obviously stellar. I saw him in Brew. But like, I really just really embraced what I got from Steve Carell. Like, really. I think the only time Carell's let me down in a film is Dan in Real Life. Like, it was watchable, but it just wasn't. It's labeled as a comedy. I didn't laugh. It was just an easy watch thing. Yeah. This to me was just at a point when I was really embracing this guy that I thought was, hey, like Jim's not doing much. Here's this guy. Like, that's who he was. So I've always got a bit of a soft spot for Evan in that sense. So.
Fair enough, bro. It was never for me. I was never the biggest Bruce Almighty guy, and I thought, oh god, you're gonna make a spin-off with that guy from the comedy that was at best so-so? Okay. All right, my number 7, I'm bringing in Christopher Nolan, and it's a recent one. And this one is unfair, but it did make a loss. Tenet.
Can we punt on that, please, bro?
We can punt indeed. All right, my number 6. This upset me that this lost money, because I actually thought they were onto something here. My number 6, Power Rangers. Now,
this, I'll be honest, I'm kicking myself I forgot about it. I'm
still to this day quite angry that this lost money. And I cannot for the life of me understand it. It lost 76 million. Now, for a big IP, you lose.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't getting a sequel.
Yeah. Which is weird because they still kind of toyed with it, but there was just not enough confidence.
They set it up perfectly. Tommy Oliver. Yes! No,
and
you
it was
don't
green. There was the green on the chair. There was a green like hoodie.
No,
like, oh.
You don't get nice toys. We lost 76 million. No Tommy Oliver for you. Shit!
Power Rangers is always a funny one for me because
this was the best Power Rangers movie we've ever had. That's a fact.
That is a fact. The sad thing is that
they did some shit wrong.
When you reboot, it's weird because I appreciated Alpha, but he wasn't my Alpha. Do you understand? Like, I don't hate the Alpha that they gave us, but the original Alpha was something. It's so beloved, it's hard to toy with it. Yeah, like imagine now. Obviously, it's very hard to picture it, but could you imagine someone reimagining like C-3PO? You'd be like, whoa. And that's what you've done with Alpha. It's like from a robot to Ascension, but bro, it's that. The Zordon's backstory was, I loved it. Like to give us that Zordon and Rita backstory was all kinds of cool. I needed more from Goldar, and these are the things. Is that some people, some people who were so freaking prominent became so weak that it was like, there were so many redeeming factors in it, though. You know, I think
they managed to make the cheesiness cool. Like hearing Rita say, "Magic Wand, make my Goldar grow," and it was like, you just pulled that off. You actually just pulled that off, and it wasn't shit. Well done.
And they retconned some shit. Like, honestly, let's be real.
The shit they retconned, I didn't like.
No,
like,
bro.
The way that the fucking like Megazord became the Megazord, I was like, no.
I'm talking more of a Billy being black as opposed to the Black Ranger being black. Like,
they were always going to do that. That was always going to happen.
But no, because he became
the Black Ranger black and the Yellow Ranger Asian. You couldn't do that. No.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm like. Hey, you know what? We're a bit more woke. Like,
Yeah, we are a little bit more woke.
like, those are the bits. But no, there are certain bits that you can't touch in Power Rangers lore. Like that Power Rangers lore is law. Like,
yeah.
That's when the two laws merge.
The law, L-O-R-E, is law, L-A-W. Yeah,
like,
100%.
yeah, 100%. So that, in that sense, I understand it. But it was a good film.
It was. The third act was a bit weak, and it was mostly weak because of the fact that it was weird because they didn't show love to the stuff that they should have shown the most love to. The Zords becoming the Megazord. You know, all the geeky stuff is where they lost their geek cred.
And do you know what? Do you know what's sad about that is those are the fist in the air moments.
Yeah, big time.
So it's like, oh my god, it's about to happen. It's about to happen.
They nailed certain things like the music that do 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 do. It was like, oh shit, we've got the music too.
Your fist was there, and instead of going up, you just really.
But I tell you what, show stealer for me, Elizabeth Banks playing Rita. I thought she was awesome. Awesome. And Bryan Cranston as Zord. Sorry, it's not Zord. Zordon. So good.
Yeah. There was a lot to appreciate in this film. A lot.
And I liked the casting of the Rangers. And some of them have gone on to have some okay-ish to quite good careers. You know, Dacre Montgomery, the Red Ranger, he got into Stranger Things. Ludi Lin, who played the Black Ranger, he's Liu Kang, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Naomi Scott, she's Princess Jasmine. Oh, and she was in that terrible Charlie's Angels movie.
I haven't seen that one, but I heard it.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. So bad. So bad. I am not going to get involved with the whole, this is why we shouldn't, you know, the men are screaming like, this is why you shouldn't make female action movies. And the women are screaming, men are to blame for the female action movies not doing well. It's like, well, no, because the old Charlie's Angels was actually making money. So it's like, what? So all the women went to see the old one. Men don't deserve any credit for the old one doing well, but the new one doesn't do well. Men are to blame. No. Sorry, you can't have it both ways. You can't like when you're successful, be like, ladies go, and then when it's unsuccessful, it's like fuck men. It's like no. It has to be consistent. And I got into an interesting debate with someone on Twitter. I can't remember their name, but it was all amicable. Like we're actually following each other now, so it was all done well. But she did start with the whole, well, yeah, you know, it's men's fault. And I was like, well, how? Because men like the Charlie's Angels franchise. Like, look at the old one. It made this much, and that was in the early noughties. This one didn't do well because the trailers were bad, the marketing campaign was bad, and the few people who did go and see it actually came out and said, that sucked. Word of mouth gets around quickly. And, bro, I saw it. It is not a good movie. It is just... it's bad. And it's nothing to do with gender. It's just not a good movie.
You know what it is, though? That film came and went before I even... You know, you get those films that just hit the cinema and you blink.
But the cinemas didn't even believe in it. They saw this, we're like, we're not going to keep this on our screens. We're going to lose money.
It really tanked. There you go. There's another box office flop. We threw an extra spare one in for you guys.
Yeah, there's bonus feature. But yeah, no, I'm monumentally sad Power Rangers isn't going to be getting a sequel. There is talks at Saban that there is going to be another one, but when you've lost that amount of money, I don't see how you can.
Thing is, Power Rangers is so weird because it has such. Every generation has its Power Rangers. We were lucky enough to be Gen 1. We are Mighty Morphin, so we're always going to get gas for that. But then it's hard to sell Mighty Morphin to. Is it Dino Rangers or Samurai? Whatever they are now.
Dino Thunder.
Yeah, like, I don't know if they're going to buy into Mighty Morphin. Like, they got a Power Rangers movie, but it's not their one. We will then turn away and be like, what the fuck? Dino Thunder? You want me to go see Dino Thunder? Like, screw you. Power Rangers are in a very difficult position. Like, it's hard to know.
No. They're really not, mate. And I'm just speaking. It's not opinion. It's fact. It's only Mighty Morphin that matters.
I agree.
It started the whole thing. It created the most iconic characters. It created the most iconic character. It had the greatest feud of all of them. We saw a proper character arc from Green Ranger to White Ranger. Fuck the rest of them. Sorry.
I'm on board.
It's like someone who wants to tell me Beast Wars is better than Generation 1 of Transformers. Shut up. I don't want to see Optimus Primal.
That died, bro. What I'm saying is, so far as I'm aware, the Power Rangers franchise still continues.
No, it does. Of course it does.
So in a way, but in a so Power Rangers itself is making money. In a cinema world, I don't know if they know how to market it. Because you need to start from the root.
They need to give it kind of the treatment they gave it already, you know. So instead of just being like really, really bad, cheesy teen action, you kind of make it a coming of age story. Because the first act of that movie is so solid. It's so solid. Yeah. So you do that, but you kind of then bring in the Mortal Kombat vibe minus the gore, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Billy be going like flawless victory. It's like no. That's not for you.
Exactly, yeah.
There's something in Power Rangers. It needs a
proper. I want to see it. I just don't know how to make it happen.
All right. Well, that's my number 6. So over to your 7 and 6.
Okay, my number 7. This one's a bit of a weird one, but I always loved the fantasy behind it. Rise of the Guardians.
I know nothing about this.
Do you not? Okay, before I get there, so let me just hit the monetization side of it, and then I will give you the story.
The demonetization side of it.
Oh, this is the one. Rise of the Guardians has a loss of 87 mil. I'm not sure what studio it was, but what always fascinated me, and if you want, I can bring up the poster again. This was all of your childhood believable characters all joining up together. So you've got young Jack Frost, you've got Santa Claus, you've got the Tooth Fairy, and you've got the Easter Bunny. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Easter Bunny is voiced by Hugh Jackman. And
I'm all about that.
Screw this. I'm going to have to press the buttons because I believe Santa might have been Mel Gibson.
Santa's Mel Gibson.
No, hold on.
Let's take the guy who hates Jews and is all for the Christian church and make him a Christian idol. Oh dear.
So yeah,
please let Mel Gibson be Santa. Oh, please let Mel Gibson be Santa. That will make me so happy. Not in that way.
No, I take it back. I do apologize. It's Alec Baldwin. I do apologize. But it would have. Yeah, but
that's
it was
great shout.
It was actually it's just really cool because all of these stories that you told of the Easter Bunny, this, that, the other, and this is essentially the story of Jack Frost gets amnesia and is being tempted to be a villain. I can't remember how he gets amnesia. I've seen the film once. It was the concept that always got to me. But you've got someone who it's a bit like Monsters Inc., where they want to take away kids' happiness. So it's like take over with all but nightmares, and all of the icons of your childhood have come together to take on this great bad. So I just thought it was really cool to just see them in, and obviously they weren't your the ever so polite Easter Bunny, as I said, it's Hugh Jackman, and I believe he's got a bazooka. Like, bro, it's been a while, but I just had fun with it. Santa's got tattoos, man. Santa's got tattoos on his arm. Let me just throw the poster up again for you to see it. Like, do you see it? He's got the naughty and nice. So it was just literally.
You know what he should have on his neck? Mrs. Claus.
But this is the stuff. So it was just a chance to just. I am a sucker for that stuff. I don't care how much it sucks to some people. When you get to revisit your childhood in such a way, and for me to see it from a different dimension, it's always going to get something from me. So, yeah, Rise of the Guardians is always, yeah. It's got
I'll check it out.
Check it out. As I said, I'm not going to promise you the world's greatest film, but it had nice spots to it. It did have nice.
And it lost how much? Sorry.
Let me find that number again, but I do believe we were in the 80s.
That's a lot for an animation to lose.
Bro, it's tons. It is absolutely tons. Rise of the Guardians. Yep, 87 mil.
Ooh.
That's tough. That's big loss. That is big loss, man.
Yeah.
That is a huge loss. So, unfortunate. Right, in at number 6 is the film I forever have sympathy for, because I'm just like, you could have gone there, and I just felt like everyone just gave up.
Oh no,
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh no. No. This justifiably flopped. This was shit.
Do you know what it was? This was when they knew Disney were taking over. They
fucking checked out. Like, they were over it.
Everyone.
It wasn't even about Disney taking over, bro. Like, the actors were just not invested in the characters anymore.
The only one was Fassbender. I think we still got
bullshit.
We still got the best of Magneto, to me personally. the story was there, but legitimately, in terms of acting, I think everyone knew this was the final bout, and they just didn't have it in them. And I think the film had so much. What touches me is I think they've done the lesser of two evils. They still done better than Last Stand. You delivered more than Last.
Fucking Magneto in the forest. Yeah, well,
to be fair, we had Magneto in a forest. He just had enough metal around him this time. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I did catch on to that, and it pissed me off. I was like, "We are not doing this again." Like,
did you learn?
We not learn?
Did you learn? Not a thing. The Phoenix is. Do you know what it is about the Phoenix? The Phoenix is all too powerful that X-Men just never know what to do, and this is why I pray. Good old this to me. I think this is why Kevin Feige still hasn't brought the X-Men out in anything yet, because he's like, if I'm gonna do this, I need to map this shit out properly. Because the minute everyone's looking forward to Phoenix, and the minute she comes along, it just twice now. Like, this is the first strike.
Do you know what? I think if they're doing Phoenix, they need to do it as an ensemble movie. You can't. She's too powerful, mate. You need to have like Scarlet Witch, and you need to have Doctor Strange involved with the Phoenix. Then it becomes like, okay. It's a bit more level playing field now.
Listen, Phoenix can officially be a phase villain.
100%.
And the thing about it is that it actually builds so beautifully, because she starts off as a hero, and you're like, well, who is the big bad? Who is the big bad? And it's just those flirting moments of evil and overpowering strength, and then eventually, bang, and then you've got the big showdown. So it does work. I do agree with you. I do like that angle. So, to me, that is a perfect X-Men entry. I actually like I think Sophie Turner even tried with this film.
Sophie Turner, I didn't have an issue with, mate. I actually see, if you told me Sophie Turner instead of Fassbender, I would have listened to that, because
I'm just looking back at it. I think those two. I mean, those two really gave something. Mystique was complete.
Fuck! I love J-Law for Love and Money in the Planet, but she was so checked out by this point.
And I know Eleven was like, oh, but she used full face paint. I'm like, I always give it to her. I do remember hearing that she had an allergy to the previous stuff, so she can't do the original Mystique stuff. But it was a checkout. It was a checkout.
So checked out.
It was.
That was one of the worst deaths I've ever seen. It was like she just didn't give a fuck. There was no emotion in it whatsoever.
The budget wasn't there. It's like, it was like budget wasn't there. We could only afford her for this, so you know what? It's like, oh, you're not paying me, all right. Clock's run out, mate. Just kill me now. And that was.
Literally,
but I just feel like it had
a checkout ticket.
Yeah, it had the potential, but everyone just knew that they were at an end, and I feel that is what damaged this film, and that's why I.
Do you know what makes me so sad? And this is only something it's really funny you bring up Dark Phoenix, because while I've been afflicted with, can't say that, Global Bastard, while I've been afflicted with global
further proof.
Proof in the pudding, Global Bastard.
It's like, who are you calling bastard?
Yeah, literally, is that you? What? No, cough for me, motherfucker. What's one of the things I remember growing up? I just went back and I was like, you know what? I'm going to regress into childhood mode, and I'm going to play Saturday morning cartoons all day, every day. And I've been binging the X-Men animated series on Disney Plus. Oh my God, that show's so good. It is so good.
Bro, do you know the only thing that hurt me with this?
Wait. I've gone through some epic storylines in it, like Days of Future Past Part 1 and 2 in the animated series. It's like, well, that's how you do the fucking storyline properly. Time Fugitives with Cable and Bishop. I was like, well, that's a great storyline right there. And even the individual stories got me thinking, like when it wasn't one of the big grandiose ensemble pieces and it was focused on one character, like a Rogue's Tale or Gambit's Gambit, you know, there's so many great individual stories, and I'm looking at each one of these and going, Kevin Feige's not worried. He is spoiled for choice because you look at all of these stories, there are so many ways they could make each of these characters the catalyst for how to bring in the X-Men.
Oh, for sure.
Storm, you make her, you know, she's Kenyan Tanzanian, because she's from the base of Kilimanjaro. Storm,
but by origin, is Storm not from Wakanda?
No. Tanzan. She's legit. They say she's from the foothills of Kilimanjaro in the animated series, so I'm gonna go with that. But you can tie her into the Wakandan. You can tie her into having a Wakandan link because it's not unlike Feige to rewrite comic book lore. The big one, obviously, Rogue stealing Carol Danvers' powers. God, I want them to do that storyline.
Bro, yeah, that's the one I look at. And I even saw her with the bomber jacket, when they were doing Captain Marvel, and I was like, oh, please, just bring in Marie right now. I need Marie now. Yeah.
They are so spoiled for choice on how to bring in the X-Men. It's crazy. So I don't think Kevin Feige's worried. I think he's licking his lips, frankly. But God, don't give us anything like the Foxmen, please.
Good way of playing it. Do you know what I was saying though? When it comes to the animation, I still think you've missed out so much on X-Men Evolution.
Yeah,
X-Men Evolution. I love that one. I think that was all kinds of awesome.
Is it on Disney Plus or does Fox still have
the
the
reason
rights?
I don't think it's there. I watched it on Fox Toonami when I was lucky. By the way, huge loss for Dark Phoenix. 133 mil. Like
completely justified. Completely justified. That movie sucks.
That one, that's a blow. But yeah, going back to X-Men Evolution, I hope it's on Disney Plus because that to me is awesome. That was a good one. It's them as teenagers and the early stages of them being recruited. I loved it. I actually had a lot of fun with X-Men Evolution. It's not the original X-Men. There's a lot more depth in that for sure. But X-Men Evolution is a good cartoon.
Oh, the animated series is so good, man. It's so damn good. And each time it's one of those ones because it actually requires you to really center on it, So it's actually quite of a grind to watch it.
Yeah.
Once, it's not like Spider-Man, which is a super easy watch.
No.
Like X-Men, you need to get into it because there's so much going on with it.
100%.
And they never drop the ball with the story threads, They revisit story threads, but even when they're revisiting, they work it brilliantly. They always have it's almost running parallel to what's currently happening. And
the way, and this is the thing, is that it was series in cartoon, which you don't see because let's be honest, Morph, the amount of time Morph came in and out, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. So good.
Right.
Unlike Dark Phoenix. Right. Over to my number 5.
That's the one.
Now, cannot get my head around why this didn't work, but my number 5, Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill.
This one.
Huh?
I did have fun with this one. I caught it on Amazon.
So much fun.
On Amazon.
It's great. It's great. I don't know the fact that it was a remake and that the old one was never popular. I don't know. I can't believe that Cavill and Armie Hammer aren't bankable stars. I mean, Armie Hammer definitely not anymore. But
this is what I was going to say.
No. This was way before all of that stuff about Armie Hammer came out. But Henry Cavill's a megastar, man.
Do you know what I think is the issue? And quote me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I am on this, right? Sometimes stuff just completely past me. This is when I say sometimes the advertising on the flip. Did this get enough marketing for what it was?
Definitely not.
There we go.
This should have received marketing the way that. Why am I blanking? Guy Ritchie's recent movie. The Gentleman, thank you. It should have received Gentleman levels of marketing, and it didn't get anywhere near that. I only remember seeing one trailer for it.
This is what I'm saying. It's like not enough trailers. I don't think there was enough posters around even. And that's where sometimes it's like, if you had faith in this film, you may have got somewhere. And that's the thing about a box office flop. There's two sides of it. It's like the company have invested all in the film, but not enough in the marketing, or you've spunked it on the marketing and not enough in the investment for the film.
Yeah, all of the above, true. But I mean, Henry Cavill playing a British spy. Yes, please. Side note, make Henry Cavill the next James Bond. Please.
Not Idris. I'm taking the piss.
Don't you trigger me. To the moon. Fucking stupid ass ladder match. Sorry. Yeah, I went there. I can't let it go. It's so dumb.
We'll discuss after. I'm not going to throw people off on a film podcast. And it's potential fun.
Henry Cavill is a British spy, and Armie Hammer, he's a bit of a very sick fuck now, and we can't, we need to cancel him, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because he's a good actor. Armie Hammer, good. And Social Network. Why am I blanking? The recent Ben Whiteley movie. It had Brie Larson, it had Sharlto Copley, it had Cillian Murphy. It's kind of like the second coming of Reservoir Dogs. It's the shootout in that warehouse, the gun deal that goes wrong. What is it called?
And my phone is not reacting to me either today. Oh, how dare you do this to me?
Help. That is going to absolutely kill me. Just search Sharlto Copley. That'll be the lot. Come on, IMDb. No, not District 9. It was not the A-Team.
Free Fire.
Free Fire. Thank you. Fuck me. That was a great film, and he was great in that. And he was great in this as the Russian spy. He's so good. It's not going to happen. Loved it. And then, of course, you introduce Hugh Grant. We all love Hugh Grant. There's nothing bad about Hugh Grant.
It just makes a British movie that touch more British, doesn't it, to have good options? You can't help it. It just is what it is.
Does. Look, I had the world of fun. So it was one of those movies that really pleasantly surprised me of just how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended up losing 80 million. So definitely falls on the flop. Yeah. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is another one of me being very generous to the superhero world. And we agreed when we saw this one go wrong.
Oh, dear.
The Fantastic Four.
Oh, dear.
Bro, be fair to this now.
No.
No. Take the beginning of that film and you have the best Fantastic Four movie you've got.
If you're talking the first 30 minutes, fine. Anything after that, no.
They then go onto a planet and the film changes in a way that you're like, that, like, the origins of its clobbering time, even the fact that we've changed, we have an interracial sibling thing, and it was so funny because everyone's like, "Oh right, so Johnny Storm's going to be adopted," and it's like, "Oh, Sue's the one who's adopted." Like, it was weird. They gave me all these stuff that I actually moved on to, and I was like, "This can go somewhere," and then it failed. And this is where I say, studio involvement in a director's project. This is the biggest proof of where you can go wrong, because they were actually onto a. I think if they let the director continue with what he wanted to, that would have been the Fantastic Four movie that people would be talking about. I believe it was a halfway.
Luckily, Disney owns Fantastic Four now, so we're fine.
Come in.
Luckily, Disney owns Fantastic Four now, so we're fine.
Kevin, I'm telling you, Feige with those two, my 6 and 5 is sitting there and just going, I'm going to fix this, and no one's going to chat shit because each of these films have had all these reboots and franchises and gone wrong. No one will chat shit when I bring these guys in, and that's why we haven't seen them yet. He could have obviously kicked it off straight away, but he's like, no. Just keep simmering, because when I drop it, it will drop. This film, this is interesting because it's not a confirmed number. Between 80 to 100 million loss. And I say deservedly so, because you, the fucking studio, get involved when you shouldn't have.
This opens up a much wider debate. I'll touch on what the debate is, and we can decide now if we're going to have it, because it is epic. And it's been, I frankly don't see how you can take the other side of this argument, but people do. The Warner Brothers debate, the AT&T debate, the whole, we're removing creative power from our creatives, and the power now lies with the execs. What? And then you've actually got people, and I'm going to throw shade at him here, but at another millennial reviewer on Twitter recently called me a purist for taking the side. I think I brought this up for recently taking the side of Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, guys who are, if left to their own devices, proven to turn out quality no matter what. And now you're going to say that you're going to strip them of their power and that you're going to put the power with the execs. Oh, and by the way, Disney are guilty of this shit too now.
Oh, bro, I'm sure all of them are but
No. The thing I'm going to talk about, this is quite an important one. Bob Iger, the granddaddy of Disney, has stepped down. In his place, Bob Chapek has appeared. Now, Bob Chapek has already said that he is removing powers from the creatives at Disney, that the creatives have got too much power. Now, I'm just saying, we've just been saying Kevin Feige's name. He's sitting there going, excuse me? You're going to take power away from me? Well, I need to prove myself? No. Watch this space. With Disney, it's now the 14th of June. I'm just saying, watch this space.
So, you know, the sad thing with that, right, is let's take this there. You were able to have a film that broke box office records by leaving it to the creatives, and now you want to take it back. That's corporate greed at its highest. Because what you should do is you source the money, we'll triple it. Essentially, what I'm getting at is you can be. Let's take football for many arguments' sake, basketball, whatever. You got it. You've got your attackers, you've got your defenders. Each man plays his role. I do not expect. I will use your classic Chelsea because he's the first defender that came to my head. John Terry to be putting goals in the back of the net. His job is to stop.
He did. He's the defender who scored the most goals in Premier League history. But
fucking worst example possible then. Right. But what my point getting at is, all right. Oh, what's his name? Roy Keane. There we go. Good old Roy. Right? I do not. Come again?
I love Roy Keane.
Oh, top.
He takes no fucking prisoners when he's on TV.
Exactly. I saw him on TV yesterday. It was in a pub, so the volume was down, but it was good to see his face again. Roy Keane is a defender. Brutal defender.
Defensive midfielder.
Oh, fuck's sake. Can we just get on with the point? All right.
Can we move away from football? Because it's not your forte.
It's not my forte, but I can't do it with anything else.
Bro, we don't need to give another example. If someone has proven to do something that works, fucking quote. Here you go with a football reference. Quote Sir Alex Ferguson. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, this is it. There's that. But what I'm getting at is a defender stops the ball from going in on your net. Your attacker makes sure it goes in on the other net. That's all I'm looking at, essentially, right? Do your part. You get the money. You give it to him. He'll triple it. In the case that you take away that power, why even fucking have the man there? Produce the film you can. Oh, but that's not my position. So shut the fuck up and let him have the control to do what he needs to do.
Exactly.
It's simple as. Simple as.
Yeah. And what you're highlighting with with Fantastic Four is a perfect example of why studios shouldn't get involved.
Yeah.
It's madness. But just so we're clear on this Disney thing, I'm not expecting things to fall apart within the next year to two. But I'm just saying 6 years from now, don't be entirely surprised if Kevin Feige has decided to walk and set up his own thing. Or maybe not. I don't know. No idea. I'm not going to speculate on what the machinations of Kevin Feige does because no one can, and no one's ever right about it. But I'm just saying the changes that have just come in at Disney, thanks to Bob Chapek, watch this space. In the next 6 years, it's not going to be the smooth sailing ship that Bob Iger left.
Cinema's in a weird place. And I say cinema is in film, not the actual cinemas, but cinema's in a weird place at the moment because you've taken a hit. And right now, I think you should keep the format in a way of having your sure certainties. But I think maybe because they've lost so much in this past year, they're like, well, the money men are going to bring the money in. And it's like, well, yes, you do bring the money in, but these guys triple the money. They multiply the money. They quad the money. So
the money isn't really there. The product's not there, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go with my number 4. Excuse me. My number 4 is an old one with Antonio Banderas, the 13th Warrior.
Not seen this, not gonna lie.
I love this film. It is so weird, but so cool. It's a fantasy film, and it lost 129 million.
Back then.
This is not adjusted.
Hold on, I think I've got 13th Warrior.
So.
Yeah, so just in rough figures now, that's about 200 mil.
Yeah. That's John Carter money adjusted for inflation. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That's a blow.
Basically, Antonio Banderas is, I think the beginning is very vague in my mind, but I believe he's an Arabian who's been exiled from his entourage, from his surrounding, and he's wandering with one or two of his followers, and he gets picked up by a group of Vikings, and the Vikings tell him of the story of one of their fables of how they have to go and fight this demonic clan, and they can't do it without the 13th warrior, and the 13th warrior is a man who's not a Viking, and the 13th warrior is Antonio Banderas, right? But Antonio Banderas is not the most proficient warrior at this point, and he doesn't speak their tongue or anything. You know, they're speaking Scandinavian, he's speaking North African for all we know. And then it's very weak as to how he's forced to travel with them, but he ends up traveling with them, right? Off to go and protect this village from this clan of warrior monsters. You know, proper good Viking fable shit going on here. And the fight scenes are great. And the way he learns their language is great. And the way his character develops to become a warrior is great. And I cannot understand why people didn't gravitate towards this. It's a fun... It doesn't have any big special effects. It's mostly practical effects, which made it even cooler. It's just great, big, bombastic Viking Scandinavian legend come to life. It's awesome.
Sounds cool. It is cool. It is cool. I can't talk without seeing it, bro. That's the only thing that's kind of got me there. But I'm like,
Add it to Sphere on the list, mate. You will have such a kick out of 13th Warrior. How this film lost money, I don't know. I don't even remember seeing a marketing campaign for it at the cinema. All I remember is being at home and my dad put it on and I was like, what's this? 13th Warrior. He's like, watch it. It's fine. We're going to have a good time here. And I did. I was like, this is awesome. There's nothing wrong with this film. Why have I not heard about this? And then I just, I was going through movies that flopped. 13th Warrior. I was like, that flopped? It's like, oh, that flopped badly. Oh, shit. It's brilliant fun.
Interesting. No, I'll check it out. I wish I could add.
It's fine. Over to your number 4.
So this was the punt from earlier. Tenet.
Yeah. It's a bit of a cheat, this one, isn't it? Because ultimately people weren't comfy going back to the cinema.
This is you see, Tenet is one of two things. It's because one, people weren't comfy going back to the cinema, and two, it's a lot to take in. Now, I believe in a zone where we were comfortable, it may have been slightly higher. Reason being is that some of us who are confused the same way we both have been would have said, let me hit that one more time. Let me see what's going on. There are others who are going to be Nolan's taking it too far, which I can appreciate as well. You're like, yeah, you lost me now. And it can happen. But I do believe there's a few of us that would have been like, it's not shit. It's not shit.
No. It's definitely not shit. It's not shit.
You know what I'm saying? People will be like, it's not shit. I'm just confused. I need to go back.
And that's where I think in it which are misfires. Like Kenneth Branagh, who is a god amongst men as far as I'm concerned. But his acting in this, And it's very rare you can say that about the great Kenneth Branagh, but
Yeah.
Do not put your head in the mouth of the tiger. Oh, Kenneth, tone it down. Well, can we rediscover our Shakespearean authorship, please? What is this Russian stupidity you are giving me?
You were the man who empowered Thor, so let's bring in some of that.
Really, please, let's. You made the best Disney live action movie in Cinderella. Can we rediscover our roots here, please? The tiger in the Russian mouth and this bullshit. No. He overacted so badly.
It's a good film. It's confusing as hell. I keep saying it. I need to go back to this film.
Big time.
Yeah, it's like, it's not bad though. It's not a bad film. I didn't find myself going like, this is boring. You know when you get that kind of vibe, it's like I'm on board, but I'm lost. Like, hit me, give me, just let me. And I think within 2 to 3 viewings, not saying I would have gone cinema 3 times, but within 2 to 3 viewings, I'm sure I'll be like, I get this film. And that's why I think it's really unfortunate for Tenet.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it's my number 4. Do you have the figures, or do I need to go back to my...
No, I've got them. 100 million loss, which is nuts to think that a Nolan movie lost that much money.
Yeah.
His movies by design are always going to be big budget because he works with such monumentally powerful visual effects, which are usually practical, which means the set designs are astronomical in terms of cost. But I think this is a bit of a cop-out on both our parts. It needed to be mentioned, but I can't remember ever talking. I think you have, but I don't remember talking to people and being like, fuck Tenet. What I heard was people being like, I need to give it more time. I need to watch it again. Or I heard a lot of people say, oh, it's good, isn't it? I didn't hear anyone say it's shit.
I had one person say to me, this is absolute crap. I did have one. And then I had feedback of like, this is too much. He's gone too far. I didn't hear him say it was, it's like they didn't want to give it another shot, but I do believe more people were like, yeah, I need to give this more time. That's what I heard. But some people were like, he's gone too far. And I had one person like, it's shit. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. The one thing that did bother me in the movie, which I don't think I can really excuse, is that they couldn't explain their own science. There's literally a scene in the movie where she says, don't try to understand it. It won't make sense. It's like, huh? No. That is very naughty. You don't do this in a movie. You can't speak to the audience and say, don't worry about it.
Don't look for an explanation, but you'll be able to do it. So you don't know when and how you'll be able to do it, but yeah, you'll be able to do it. Don't worry about it. It will happen when it's meant to. It's weird. I need an explanation behind it. It's just common logic.
I do hope it changed a lot of people's opinions about Robert Pattinson, though. I really do, because the guy
I can't really get into that because I didn't really have a problem with the dude. I'm not a Twilight fan, but like everything else, I didn't have a problem.
Fuck Twilight.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I didn't have a problem with the dude, so it's like I can't then say change my opinion.
A lot of people do because of Twilight, and the noise that I've been singing for a long time is, he's done a lot of work since Twilight and Harry Potter. I mean, a lot. And he's worked with some of the best directors on the planet, Nolan being one of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy's going to be a good Batman. He really is. He really is.
For sure.
He's a solid actor, man.
I'm still looking forward to that, actually.
Hell yeah. I'll be real. I'm not crazy about the kind of emo look they've given Bruce. That's not Pattinson's fault. That's a director. That's a creative decision. I'm not crazy about it, but I've got no doubt that he's going to be a really good Batman.
I could be wrong. I think that stages of early emo Bruce leading into Batman, when he's still trying to find himself, and when Bruce and Batman are still one and the same before becoming two separate characters within one man. I could be wrong.
No, I think that's a great way of looking at it. So yeah, all right, over to my number 3. My number 3, pretty sure we're going to say punt here. My number 3 is Disney Pixar's Onward.
Yeah, that's a punt.
I had a feeling.
Cool. Yeah.
Your 3.
Yeah, my number 3. That's the way this game works. My number 3, Terminator Dark Fate. Why the hell did I nearly say Salvation?
We know that one we can talk about. That one's fine.
Yeah. Dark Fate, I think, is wrong timing. No, never has a film taken such a blow for just being wrongly timed. It's so bad because Terminator has a blueprint that you can't really avoid. It's just factual.
It's formulaic by nature, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Whether it's 1, 2,
they all follow exactly the same routine. Yeah, every single one of them.
Even when I watched Back to the Futures back to back, I was like, oh fuck, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Like Marty wakes up, he thinks he's talking to his mum, there's someone else. I get it, but that was fun. This one, because of the way the story had to go, and it means going back into the future, time travel is always a sticky one. And the films after Judgment Day didn't follow the pattern. They just went from bad to worse. This film
still have fun with Rise of the Machines and Salvation.
Rise of the Machine, as I said, bro, bad to worse. It wasn't great, but it was the best.
I wouldn't go as fast to call those two movies bad. I think bad is unfair. Average.
Yeah, all right. From average to terrible. That's where it went.
Now, Jenny Smith, however, I'll listen to being called terrible all day long.
I remember wanting to smash my TV, and this is I live for Terminator. When you talk to me about Arnie action, I'm Terminator. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, it really got to me on my last nerve. This film is, as they said, it's the heir apparent to Judgment Day.
Yeah.
The problem is, because the same drum beats have been done time and time again, because you can't bring back Edward Furlong, so you bring him in for like all of... How dare you advertise Edward Furlong is back just to have a CG of him getting shot? That is also very offensive. Like, all of it just became wrong. And now we've got an aged Terminator, which is fine. but it's because there was such a huge gap, and I was like, I have to forget this and I have to remember that, which essentially we always do look back to Terminator 2, but it was like, why did you take so long?
But this is also why it shows why it's so hard to retcon stuff. It's so hard, especially when you've been feeding us a continuous storyline for that long.
Yeah.
Fair play for them for trying, but and it's a shame because I got a kick out of Dark Fate,
and Dark Fate 110 to 130 million. It took a big blow
for a movie IP like that. That's crazy big.
But similar to Tenet, I do believe Dark Fate was on the cusp of The Bastard, so it
may be right. I think you're right.
But
I think we also need to remember another thing: Hollywood and cinema is a town and an industry of, to quote, is it Tina Turner? What have you done for me lately?
Janet Jackson. Yeah.
And the answer to what have you done for me lately? Jenny Smith. The trust isn't there.
It wasn't. It was dead. It was dead. It's a good film, just wrong time.
Yeah.
Never has a film been, well, my number one kind of, but in terms of in a franchise, that's the biggest one for me. It was just so misplacedly timed. So I had to show some love.
Yeah.
Right. Your number 2, sir.
This was an easy one for me. Absolutely easy one. My number 2 is Dredd.
Oh, September 21st, my cousin's B-Day. Do you know my problem with Dredd?
You very well better be careful right now.
No. With it actually being there and why it slipped my mind is I actually didn't. I remember hearing it was coming, and then I know people had seen it, but everyone seemed to have seen it on DVD or something like that. So the marketing was beyond bad.
So shit.
And this is why I said we'll hold back. It was beyond bad. It was terrible. So much so I didn't even realize it hit the cinema.
Yeah.
Now that is bad. I felt like it was direct to DVD, which it doesn't deserve to because it's a very good film.
Hell no,
but there was nothing in it to let you know that this film was out.
It's not the biggest loss. In fact, I think it's the least big loss of all the. It is the least big loss of all the movies I brought up. 44 million, and that includes the marketing budget.
I believe it.
Without the marketing budget, which, okay, in the interest of fairness, without the marketing budget, which I haven't included for any of the other figures I've given, it was only a 4 million loss.
Well, but we have to be fair, because when we look at all the others and we're talking about someone that just took an 88 million or 120 mil loss, that is without marketing. So let's be fair. Okay, yes, it's only 4, but in the grand scheme, like,
Dredd shouldn't be losing money. Yeah. But again, we go back to, what have you done for me lately? I am the law. And much love to Sylvester Stallone. Oh dear, that Judge Dredd movie's back.
Listen, it was fromage. It was fun. I will say it was fun. I had fun with Judge Dredd. I can't tell my I need to go back, but it was a cheese fest. This is who.
Why did you take his mask off? Sorry, not mask, helmet. Why did you take the helmet off? Why?
Because it's Stallone in it. It's Stallone, not Billy.
Take the helmet off,
bro. I get it. But it's one of those. It's one of those. There are many flaws, and it's just sad. But this is one of the sad things. It's like, but hold on. If we're here to correct the mistakes, maybe I should give it some more trust. But Judge Dredd was just such a tainted name. As I said, I did not know it touched the cinema.
Between Dredd, The Boys, and Lord of the Rings, Carl Urban is just one of the coolest men on the planet. He's such a badass. Like, if you want someone to play a badass in your movie, just cast Carl Urban. Fuck me, even in Doom.
I agree with you in all of this. Can I just say one thing about Carl Urban and The Boys, though, while we're on the subject? I love the way they keep trying to advertise the British bad guy. And I'm like, where? He uses British terms. He'll use some of our terms, but he's full on Australian. But they keep saying the Brit, and I'm like, don't do that to me. He's not even trying to put on the accent. Kevin Costner made more of an effort to put on an accent
all the time, innit? Don't be a cunt.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, don't call him a Brit. No. Apart from that,
me, he sounded more British in Lord of the Rings. What business does a man, an elf, and a dwarf have in the Riddermark? There, he sounded British.
Thank you.
You know?
But yeah, they call him a Brit and the boys, and I'm like, no, he's not. Don't do that.
But
he's awesome.
Considering you don't see his face in Dredd, rightfully so, he just made this character his own. Like the moment, that first hold up in Mega City when he's just arrived on his bike and he gets off in that shopping mall and he's aiming the gun and he goes, incendiary. That voice, I was like, that's Dredd. Holy shit, that is Dredd. And of course, when he drops the line, Mama's not the law, I am the law. It's, all the geeky goodness. See, now that's when you can fist pump. That's
right. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's why you fist pump. That's why you're like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. That's Dredd. I just remember watching that movie going, where has this been all my life? This is the Dredd that we all, I am the law, deserve and need. Like, this was perfect. I mean, it's a complete fucking rip-off of The Raid, but that doesn't matter.
Brush that aside. Pedantic stuff.
If you're going to rip off a movie, rip off a great movie and make an equally great movie. It's fucking great.
There we go.
And Lenny
I need to touch on actually from last week. Well, 2 weeks ago's episode, but we'll bring that up in a bit later because I think I know why you recognize the film, but we'll touch on it because I can't remember where we were at. But yes, no, good shout, great shout. Yeah, Dredd's the one, man. Dredd is the one. That's a very good shout.
And
missed my radar, but I keep getting it.
Hoping there's such a small part of me hoping that they still remake it because 4 million's not such a big loss, and it's their fault. It's not the movie's fault. It's their fault. Bad marketing. Bad marketing.
But again, yeah. I was going to say the old Judge Dredd could appeal to families. This one couldn't. And if anyone makes
the old Judge Dredd it was violent as hell.
I can't remember. I remember seeing it as a kid.
I think it was 18 when it came out, and it got pushed down to a 15. But
really? I thought that
boy.
12, man. I thought it was a 12.
Judge Dredd is a violent fucking movie, bro. Like,
what, Sly's one?
Yeah. You need to rewatch that. Bro, do you not remember like the cannibals and the fucking mutilations on their arms and like the head chopping?
I'm not gonna lie.
It's a violent movie.
It's actually been too long. I'm not even gonna lie. It's been
no. That is not for families. That Judge Dredd.
Fair enough. All right, take that back then. All right, ignore the point I was about to make. Right, okay. So that was your number 2.
See.
In at number 2, I'm not even going to touch on this too much because it's come up a few times recently. Ghostbusters, the all-female version.
Take it away.
Bro, all right, let me find the figures because I need to find the figures. But as I keep saying with this film, it was just unjustified hate. And you've perfectly summed it up. There was no winning in this.
Nope,
there was no
lose. If you like it as a man, you're a mangina and you're just part of the problem. If you don't like it, you're a male pig. You're a sexist. It's like, oh, so I can't have an opinion on this film. And the moment you're neutered like that, as a pundit, as a critic, as a fucking audience member, the moment you're that neutered, a movie's always going to fail. Because you're not allowed, by public declaration, you're not allowed to have an opinion. Yeah. You can tweet all you want, but any positivity tweet is going to be met with an equal, if not greater amount of negativity, because that's just what this movie instigated within people.
It was sad because you know the thing where we toy with Power Rangers being a new world, a new universe. Yeah, this was another retelling. It wasn't the original. This wasn't Ghostbusters 3. This was Ghostbusters. It's a complete different spin. So when you're looking for certain things, and they paid nice homage to the old characters, everyone got a nod. Everyone was introduced in their own particular way. So they even showed respect. And it's like, no, it's not that. Where's this? Where's that? And it's like, well, no, you can't look for it because it's a different telling. You know, it's like anyone getting pissed off. I don't want to bring it up because, but screw it. It's I was going to say Civil War. You know, like, oh well, Cap still made it to the end. Yeah, it's a different telling. But you get what I'm saying. All right, Riddle. But you get where I'm going with this. It's like there are retellings, and this is what this was. If you want to talk to me about Ghostbusters 3, that's Afterlife. That's coming out in the cinema. That, if it doesn't give you your expectation, this is a different film. Point made. I can't go anymore. Yeah, you feel free to unlock. You want to take the kitty, bro? You got to talk about your part.
I say nothing.
I don't know. But
Fuck Civil War. Carry on.
No, yeah, this is it. But that was my point. Like, it's a retelling. It was a different world, and I just think it got unfairly bashed. I went to the cinema, actually expected to hate this film, came out thinking I had a good time because of the critics. They really made it look like a film you shouldn't go to see.
Where this film went wrong is that it took it upon itself to push the agenda too hard in its marketing.
Yeah.
That's where it went wrong. And again, we said this off air before, and I've said it on air many a time, and I'll go back to it now. If you are a vegan or a vegetarian, of which I hear you, you are not going to convert people by going to an Argentine steakhouse, banging on the window, and accusing all the patrons of animal murder. You'll never convert people that way. If you go to someone and you explain, like, hey, look, I'm not hating on you here, but did you know that what you're doing, you may not be aware that I'm not saying go full vegetarian. If you like your meat, you like your meat. Like, we're all humans. But, like, if you try to explain to someone, like, it's not just about quote unquote animal rights, although that should be a big part of the argument, because when you consider that a pig has the intelligence of a 2-year-old child, it knows it's being taken to slaughter. That's quite cruel.
That is sad.
That is quite cruel. There's no two ways about it. When you look at the way that some of these fish that are supposedly farmed are kept, you probably wouldn't eat fish anymore. I know that doesn't apply to you, AJ. I'm just speaking generally.
Yeah, no.
If you look at the way that cows are battery farmed, and then if you look beyond the animal argument and you actually study about, this isn't something that we actually need in our diets. Oh, but all athletes eat meat. That's not true. If you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, prove this. If you look at the Romans, for instance, they actually found some Roman skeletons under the Colosseum in Italy, and they did a cross-section of some of the bones. No meat in the diet, none, all vegetarian. So the whole, oh, you need meat to be X, Y, and Z and powerful and strong like bull. But then the argument is, when was the last time you saw a bull eating meat? They're pretty strong animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can get into the whole vegetarian debate, but the point I'm trying to make is that the way to get people on board with something isn't to be militant about it. And the marketing campaign, not totally, but for this movie, triggered people.
Yeah.
Shit, man, I'd like to think I'm as progressive as it gets. That's not true. There are people who are far more progressive than me. Too far. Too far. I'd like to think I'm on the right side of sane when it comes to being progressive, right? And I remember there was one point where there was certain things in the marketing. I was like, yo, easy on the man hating. Like,
yeah.
Easy on the man hating. Yeah? Like, let's not have a whole fucking political debate. Let's just go and watch a movie and appreciate it for what it is. So they didn't help themselves with the way that some of the marketing was done, and it was bordering on the militancy. But you know what? Even me, who got triggered, there was one, maybe a week or so, where I was like, fuck this movie. I'm not going to be told that fuck men. Bugger off. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a nice person. You know, there was that general feeling of, well, if someone like me or you can be triggered by something like that, and we're progressives, the people who are fucking diehard sexists are going to go out and hate this thing. You know what I mean?
But this is it. It's because you had to try and convince. I think they tried to convert the sexists. That triggered the sexists, as well as those who are on the cusp of, you know, being woke, as it were. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And it's a good film. It is. At least it's got a lot of good in it. I think I rated it a 6.5 out of 10 when I reviewed it. Off memory, I'd go for about 7, if I'm generous, 7.5. But it's not bad, is essentially what we're saying.
No, it certainly wasn't deserving of making a loss or of getting all the hate it got.
Yeah.
But speaking of bad, speaking of really shit, you know I'm going to bring in my guy, Michael Bay, here.
Go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Now, fuck this film with the fire of 1,000 suns. This was such a piece of shit. I mean, I implore you all, go back and watch the review. In fact, you know what? I'll link it above. Let me just make a quick note of when the timestamp is. 1 hour 38. If you're watching on YouTube, this is going to be really meta. 1 hour 38. Link above, right? we reviewed this, and I gave it a 0.5 out of 10. And the only reason it got 0.5 is because it tried to throw the Turtles Law kitchen sink at me out the cinema, which I admire it for. Toka and Razor. I was like, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. Splinter was in there, Shredder was in there. I was like, well, they're going with all the turtle stuff in here. Oh my god, the offense to my soul. It was. I've actually blocked it from memory. I'm trying to remember why I hated it so much.
I think the one that really got to you, and I mean, to me, he's never going to be the villain of villains anyway. Tyler Perry, and what was it, Vulture Breath or some shit like that?
Fuck me, Tyler. Kiss my ass. And what they were, the sexualization of Megan Fox. And it was like, you took the piss in Transformers, but Michael Bay, get a fucking room with this girl. Seriously. Like, oh, I hate her because she said I'm like Hitler. Now I'm going to sex her up. That you fucking Jabba the Hutt cunt. No. I'm actually quite shocked that it did lose money. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it lost 75 million. You know what I say?
Mm-hmm.
Ha!
I took it for what it was. I think enough of the lore. Was in there for me to be like, okay, what it is. Like, it's weird, but the old costume
ones were better. The 90s ones were better.
The original 90s ones are stronger than the remakes, and
they were men in suits, not doing good martial arts. They were cheesy as fuck.
These turtles, I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously it's what a turtle looks, but it was weird. It was a weird take on for me. It was a really weird take, these last two films. So. I'm
going to say something monumentally unpopular. The only thing I took away from liking from both of these Turtles movies was Wiz Khalifa's Shell Shock song.
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm just going to bring... Do you know the other thing that hit me as well recently? And this is getting into really weird animal territory here. But should the turtle... I mean, obviously the name comes out differently, but should they not have been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Tortoise as opposed to turtle?
Correct.
You are correct. Yeah.
Correct. A tortoise is land-based. A turtle is a marine animal.
And even just down to like hand shape would have been closer to tortoise than turtle as well. Even if you were to be more aquamarine than turtle, land-based. But when I looked at the differences recently, I was like, damn, the turtles are labeled wrong. It was so weird. To study the difference between turtle and tortoise and to start thinking of your childhood cartoon, how it happened, only AJ. But this is life. That's that. Right, bro. I do
implore you guys, go and watch that review, which I linked above. And if you're listening on podcast, please head over to our YouTube channel. The review is there.
I'm going to outdo you.
New one. Go on.
I'm going to outdo you. How much did you lose?
I know where you're going. It doesn't take a genius to know where you're going. Like, the only reason I didn't put this on, because it's more worthy, the only reason I didn't put this on is because I knew you would have it.
Short of John Carter, the flop of flops. The destruction of cinema. Was it last year? 2020, yeah?
2019.
Yeah, no, because I can't remember anyway. No, it had to be because I saw this with Tam. We weren't together in January 2019.
But it came out at the same time as... No, it's 2019.
Is it?
Yeah, because I thought so, because it came out at the same time as Rise of Skywalker, didn't it?
Well, this is what I'm thinking. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, you're right, 2019. End of 2019, though. Who cares? Yeah, 20th of December 2019. So I saw it in January 2020. But anyway, here we go. With a loss, we've got everyone baiting on this one. Here we go. With a loss of 113.6 million.
Good.
The abomination that is Cats. Oh my gosh.
Make Idris Elba the next James Bond.
Couldn't even sing his own freaking song.
Not that I expect does. Every time he makes a movie, it flops. Oh, but he's such a good actor. TV actor.
Yeah. Or backup actor.
Or backup dancer.
Yeah. He is. I nothing but respect for the guy, but stick to the Sky adverts and TV shows. I'm sorry. Like I don't say that with hate. I actually like his charisma. I think he's charming.
I love him. Love him in things like The Wire. Love him. I'd see him as a Bond villain in a fucking heartbeat. Is that because he's black? No, you racist motherfucker. It's because he's a damn good villain.
But I don't know because I still haven't seen Brixton yet, so I'm not going to get into that.
No, but The Wire. He's such a good villain.
Okay, I get it. But again, we're talking TV show versus film, so I question. But yeah, in the writing, you probably could create that character into film base. But what I always remember when everyone was like Idris Elba, the guy who's been in all these films. I'm like, how have I missed this? And when I went back, I was like, he was in 4. How did I miss it? I was like, oh,
Bifrost Man.
Yeah, Bifrost Man. American Gangster. Oh, the brother. Like it was like, oh, like this is what I say.
It's so bit part. This is it. People like to give him these fucking titles of movies like they're his, and it's like he's a backup dancer at best. This isn't his movie.
Bro, like here we go. Like American Gangster, I was like, okay, but that's Denzel's film. Like who was it?
Denzel's film, and then it's Chiwetel's film.
Thank you. Then it was
and Russell Crowe and Josh Brolin. All of those before him.
And then it was 4, and I was like, there were black people in 4. That's how inconsequential he was to me. Like I don't even want to be rude. I legit sat there and went, huh? I had to go back to I was like, oh, him. And I was like, this is the guy everyone's raving about. And yeah, here we go. Again, here we go. You said as a villain, he'll succeed. He wasn't the good guy in this film. 113 million later. Yeah, it just doesn't work. But honestly, short of the Idris passion,
he can't dance. The poor brother, like he cannot dance. I'm sorry.
This was terrible. But
I'm throwing too much hate at Idris here.
What I'm saying, I took it away from him and just had to go for the film.
You know where the movie loses me? So even Jennifer Hudson couldn't save this movie. God damn it, Jennifer Hudson singing "Memory." You'd think that will work. It's like, nope, that didn't work. Nope.
Too much emotion. Too much emotion.
Not only do you cast James Corden, fail. You also cast Rebel Wilson. Oh dear. So we've got 2 actors whose shtick in all of their movies is exactly the same. Hey, I'm the fat jolly one, and that's my one trick pony. You're going to like me because I'm the fat jolly one. It's like
Matt Lucas.
2 of you.
Matt Lucas was missing. That's all we needed. Just give us the trifecta. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Although I do like Matt Lucas on Bake Off.
Listen, I haven't watched those stuff in ages, but what I'm getting at is he's a good guy. I don't have a problem with him, but when it's the shtick, like, hey, there you go. That would have been
the fat jolly one.
Pick me.
Pick me. Look, I have a belly. But literally, that in all of their movies, Rebel Wilson and James Corden, it's always the same goddamn thing.
Yeah. And
yet James Corden is on this planet of illusion thinking, oh, I'm beloved. It's like, nah, man, you went to America because you hated.
But do you know what?
They just haven't cottoned onto it yet. They just haven't figured you out yet. It's coming.
The comments below, but Kevin and Stacey, he was awesome.
Fuck off.
Whatever. But yeah, that film was terrible. I don't even want to revisit it too much. I normally fall asleep in the cinema. The missus normally stays. Well, we haven't done a lot of films together. I had the Red Bulls. She fell asleep, and it was the first time. And sadly, for those on pod won't see this, the arms were on the armrest and the body moved forward because she looked at me and said, "Do you want to go?" And that's the first time I nearly walked out of a cinema. But I've never done it.
I allow myself 1 a year. 1 a year that I'm allowed to walk out from. Funnily enough, the last time I did it also was in an Idris Elba film. Star Trek Into Darkness. No, that was Into Darkness is the second one, isn't it? I like that one.
Yeah.
The third Star Trek movie. Which is a shame because I actually quite like those Star Trek movies. But that third one, I was like, no, this not for me. This shit.
To be honest, I haven't even seen the second. I've only seen the first one of the.
Second's fun, man. Second's fun. Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan is
top star. I can imagine. I actually, on paper, it just fits. So.
And they've made Khan a legitimate badass, not like Inigo Montalban. It's like, I am Khan. It's like, oh dear, and I'm from the 80s. God damn it.
I don't want to sound racist. I really don't. But anytime I hear the name Khan and I just see this very
Inigo Montalban.
Yeah, or even Dominic
Cumberbatch. You're Montalban.
Yeah, you look very Khan to me. Yeah, we'll work with that one. But yeah, no, aside from that, it's just being pedantic over a name. I'm sure they will look out for that. But yeah, Cat sucked. All right, bro. You're number 1.
Easiest pick in the world, and I'll defend this movie until the cows come home. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Now, I agree with you. For some reason, it didn't come up on my list. I have this list of all box office flops, so that one didn't come in there. So maybe it's because by Star Wars law, it was a flop, or is it an actual genuine loss?
Oh no, 77 million loss.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't mean it didn't make money by modern day Star Wars standards, which usually make 250 million on the opening weekend. No. This flopped. And this, I mean, I've done this rant before. I'm not going to go into it too deep here. But this was dumb fuckery from the Star Wars fans. You didn't like The Last Jedi. That's cool. That's your business. I like The Last Jedi. You didn't need to like it. But you cannot justifiably tell me, oh, no, we went to see this and we didn't like it. Well, you didn't because the movie didn't make money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When The Last Jedi, which people didn't like, made 150 million on its opening weekend. Opening weekend, not in its runtime, on its opening weekend. This was $1 billion movie in profit. Yeah? This one can't even break even? No. What's happened there is you haven't gone to see the movie.
Yeah.
And there's no fucking two ways about it. Now, you can believe me that I did, because I like The Last Jedi. So, of course, I'm going to go and see the next one. But now, here's the logic thing, right? I've got no beef. I mean, I do have a beef with you not liking The Last Jedi, but that's a different story. But I have no beef with you deciding that you personally don't like The Last Jedi. Movies are inherently subjective. But to take a franchise that you like and then try and stick it to Disney, being like, I didn't like The Last Jedi, so I'm not going to see the next movie, which has nothing to do with the same story. I'm sorry, there's part of me that's like, power to the people, because I've always been like, online petitions, stupid. When it comes to movies, I mean, I don't mean like something like an actual political movement. You know,
I was wondering where was going with that. I was like, hold, where we go?
No. If you're fighting for something, 100,000 votes, it goes to government. Power to the people, right? And I'm also going to say power to the people for speaking with your money. You know, this is why when it comes to video games, I don't buy EA games. I won't buy FIFA because I refuse to be fed the same fucking game at full price every single year. Oh, but it's different. There's new gibbles and fuck off. It's the same damn game. Charge me 20 quid for a new patch on it. I'll pay that happily. If you're going to charge me a full 60 quid, 70 quid now on PS5 for a game that is the same thing in its essence.
Yeah. Nah,
man, not every year. Every 3 years. Yeah, cool. Like, I'm down with that. Like, yeah, we've given you the patches over the last 2 years. Now we're completely packed you after 3. Call of Duty. Fuck you, Activision. Fuck you for life. GTA 5 trying to resell me the same damn game since the PS3 era. Take that, right? I do not fucking give people money for no reason. You want money? Earn it, motherfucker. So I'm all about power to the people understanding that, you know what? To stick it to people who they're not happy with, money speaks. So in terms of, I'm kind of almost torn here because in terms of people wanting to come together and being like, we are not happy with this product. Fuck you. Power to the people. But this is Disney you're dealing with, guys. And this is Star Wars. They know they're going to print money forever. Okay, you didn't like that. Well, we're going to make The Mandalorian. Drink my Kool-Aid now, bitch. Fuck you. And you all drank it like a bunch of bitches, didn't you? You know why? I get it. It was good. But y'all are fucking Star Wars Kool-Aid drinkers. Don't fucking pretend like you're not. So why don't you, instead of, you can decide you don't like one movie, but don't deprive yourself of the next film. We've always said Solo was a decent film.
Yeah. No, I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it.
Why deprive yourself? Because you didn't like The Last Jedi. Like, what would have made sense to me is if you hadn't gone to see The Rise of Skywalker. That would have made sense because it's like, well, that one's a continuation. You didn't like The Last Jedi. Don't see The Rise of Skywalker. I get that. Nah, you drank that Kool-Aid up, didn't you? That movie made a lot of money. Not as much as it should have, but it wasn't in a negative.
Yeah.
Why hate on Solo?
It's stupid.
It's so dumb. And I'm so conflicted by it because I really like it. And I am part of that, consensus of people who are like, if I don't like something you're doing, you're not getting my money. So I'm so torn about this because on the one side, it's like you're doing the right thing by letting them know with your money. they're not making money, they are going to listen to you. Not with Star Wars, guys. It prints money. The name prints money. All you've done is you've deprived yourself of a pretty decent film.
Yeah, no, it's sad. It was a good film. I enjoyed the adventure. So
yeah, and all you've done now is you've deprived me of seeing the return of Darth Maul properly.
Sad times. Sad times. Well played. My number one was the punt from earlier. Onward.
This is mad, isn't it?
Bro, do you know what it is? It's the same as Tenet. It's the same as...
was this a COVID movie?
Yeah. I remember seeing the posters at the time. 135 mil. I'm not sure because I don't know how much the marketing was there. I saw a lot of posters. Didn't see a lot on TV, but I'm not the biggest TV guy. So
I'll say this: the trailers for Onward never caught me.
This is also the truth.
They weren't the world's best trailers.
I think I saw one online. And I was like, yeah, we'll see where it goes. But
the only reason I went to see it in the end was that it says Pixar on the tin. Obviously, I'm going to see it.
You know what, as well, right? I'm actually quite a fan of Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, so I was like, let's give it a shot. It can't be that bad. Hour and a half at most of my time. If I'm going to regret it, I'll regret it. And I actually really enjoyed it. I think it had a lot to it. It was just unfortunate timing. Really unfortunate timing, and that's what I think. To me, I just feel sorry for it because I feel like the trailers, as you said, didn't give it the best. You don't know what you're going to expect from the poster. But when you actually give this film a shot, it's good. It's really good. And it's a COVID movie. I just remember seeing it all over the place at the time. And I'm like, okay, this is coming. I'm going to give it a shot. And then the world went into lockdown. I think this is one of those that really just, they just lost it. Like, it was there. It was out in the cinemas, but then no one was allowed to go. So then it was like, damn, you've just missed it. Everything you've done, all the investment you've done is going to give you a blow.
Excuse me. There's something interesting going on with Pixar at the moment. Like, I think we've always agreed that they're probably the best not animation studio, best studio on the planet. Mm-hmm. But let's look. Soul, I didn't have the biggest time for.
No.
I love the premise. I thought the ideation behind, the different shape shifting of the souls and the way they get trained, I loved it. But the moment they ended up in the cat's body, I was like, nah.
So there was just levels to it. And then just like you didn't.
Who's talking about Luca, the new Pixar movie? No one's even talking about it. Disney made the decision that it's not even good enough for cinema release. It's straight to streaming service, and I don't even think it's premium streaming.
No, I don't think it is. I actually don't think it
is. There's this weird question mark I've got. Is this the start of what I was talking about before? Is this the start of the Bob Chapek problem? Does it start?
And this would have been made before, so it's hard to tell. But do you know what I think is a big problem with things at the moment?
That's the execs deciding that it's not good enough for the cinema.
But then, do you know the other thing is, I don't know what the rest of the world is like in terms of cinema. Like, we are just about reopened. I don't know what the rest of the world is, and I think that's why they're just like, you know what, screw it, just put it out there. And the way that torrenting goes at the moment, let's be real, if you put it in the cinema here, but you make it for streaming in the States, everyone's going to just stream it anyway. So you might as well just screw it.
That's true.
It's sad, but true.
But the cinemas are very open in the States again,
I don't get it. Unless it's a global thing. Because there are other parts of the world I just don't know. I don't know what France is doing. I really don't. I don't know what Spain's doing. And this is where it's like, do you even bother? Because if you're going to release, you're going to release. If you're not, you're not. And I think that's just the angle they're taking.
It's a very weird decision to not make a Pixar movie a cinema release. Very weird. Soul I got because we were in the height of the pandemic. But Luca, and it looks charming, Luca. Luca actually looks like a lot of fun. I get kind of like an Italian Coco vibe from it.
Yeah.
I like the look of Luca. I mean, I would have gone to the cinema for that one. So, one of their big Pixar movies. Yep, all over that. Let's go watch that. But
it's a weird.
It's really weird. I really hope that we're not starting to see the fall of Pixar.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's Rushmore this bitch.
Okay. anything you want to? I know we have to apologize. We've already touched the 2 hours, so we can't really read out all the comments from anyone. Is there anything you want to touch on at all before we do it, or we just got
to? When I put the question out on Twitter, the movie that seemed to come up again and again and again and again and again was Dredd.
Okay, cool. I actually don't have a beef with Dredd going in there, to be honest. Dredd is one of those. I ideally would want whatchamacallit? Sorry, I'm getting ready to make the notes and I'm losing it here. What's it called? My film, number 1, Onward.
I'm fine with Onward being on there.
Sorry, I'm going to have to create a new thing because it's just not coming up. So, Dredd, Onward, Power Rangers.
I'm interested to see what people say about Power Rangers, actually.
I'm not going to do... Bro, I mean, in honesty, you did kick my ass in terms of good films this time around. The only other one I'm partially tempted for is Tenet. If not, I would go Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, leave Star Wars off. Good shout. Let's do Tenet.
Cool. Okay. Right. So why did we talk about people? Oh yeah, no. I'll let you do. Let's do the drum rolls first.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of box office bombs, in no particular order, is
Dredd.
Our second entry is
Onward.
Our third entry is
Power Rangers.
Aye.
It had to be done.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of box office bombs is
Tenet. Okay, guys. So that is your final 4 movies of films you should check out, even though they bombed in the box office. Right. Why did we mention Twitter? We didn't get to go into it as deep as we would. But what happens is we, the Silver Screen Dudes, have the almighty challenge of picking the 4 films for that Rushmore. You guys have an even bigger challenge because, to quote Highlander, there can only be one. So out of the films, Dredd, Onward, Power Rangers, and Tenet, you have to vote for the best box office bomb. By that definition, the film that you enjoyed the most, but it sadly bombed in the cinema. So there it is once again. Last week we didn't
2 weeks
have
ago.
an episode, but 2 weeks ago our topic was
top movies where the villain wins.
And our winners were
7, Silence of the Lambs, The Usual Suspects, and Chinatown. 408 of you voted. Let me just go through the tweets as usual. Andy Hart at Fandango Groover. What up, Andy? Had to vote Chinatown, partly because the way the villain wins, but mainly because it's my favorite film on the list and one of my all-time favorites. By the way, top Rushmore. 4 great films. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Your boy, Chris Trengrove.
I listened with fear because we've already crossed the 2 hour mark, but here we go. Go on, Chris.
I'm not super enthused with Lambs being included. Hannibal is a villain, but not the villain in this film. I purposefully admitted it in my noms list over the weekend, but thrilled to see the other 3 included, all of which could deserve to win. I'll vote 7.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Passy Vitala put The Silence of the Lambs and movie is very good, and Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster Jew are excellent. Fire in this movie. That we can agree on. Johnny Ringo put confused by these voting results. Buffalo Bill gets shot at the end. Hard to beat the disappearing limp of Kaiser Soze. Also, shout out to It's a Wonderful Life. Nothing bad ever happened to Mr. Potter. He stayed loaded and just kept pimping in Bedford Hitfalls. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
That is a very good point.
FD Tate put China... Very good. Chinatown deserves more respect, sharing a photo of Rodney Dangerfield adjusting his tie. Rodney Dangerfield is obviously famous for going, no respect at all. Gavin Mann said, not seen Chinatown yet with a crying emoji. The film geezers put got to be 7 as the guy is a master manipulator pulling the strings throughout the whole film. Nick at Mr. Nick 1980, the villain in Silence of the Lambs doesn't win. Hannibal Lecter was not the villain of the film. 7 for me as the villain's plan is fully executed. Okay, guys. Hannibal is the villain of the overall series. That was the point we made on podcast. Okay, and Raul de Jesus put 7 because #wow. He's good.
Cool.
AJ, over to you.
Right, okay. Based on the confusion that's out there, I will say Silence of the Lambs came fourth.
No.
Oh, wow. Usual Suspects?
No.
Fuck me, 7.
No.
Chinatown, obviously.
Well done. 4 for 4. Chinatown got decimated, mate. Chinatown got only 10% of the vote.
Not enough people seen it. Honestly.
Only thing I can explain it with.
Yeah. Okay, so then the next one. Why is this phone playing up now? Next one, I will go with Silence of the Lambs.
No.
Fucking hell.
He's off this week. He's off. No.
Usual Suspect.
There we go. 3 for 3. Usual Suspects got only 21% of the vote.
Okay, interesting, because it stormed it the week before or the week before that. So
I know, right?
Silence of the Lambs.
Nope.
Fuck it. I don't get it. So all the hate that everyone tweets about, like, never has the
Everyone's like,
never
man,
helped me.
I disagree, but I'll vote for it.
Never has it been so converse in the history of this whole game. Never. But okay, fair enough.
7 got 31. 7 got 31%, and Silence of the Lambs got 38%. Let's plug JT and wrap this up.
This is the one. Yeah. So guys, okay. For the next vote, yes. We've done it. How do you get to vote? You head on over to Twitter at Movie MT Rushmore, which is the Silver Screen Dudes. But more importantly, we love movies. Movie polls for you, hosted by good old JT. You can't vote twice. We are retweeting whatever JT puts out there. So you will have the choice once again between. Oh, why did I do this to myself? Tenet.
Tenet, Dredd, Onward, and Power Rangers.
That's the one. Thank you very much. One vote, and next week we will announce the winner, and hopefully I'll do a lot better than what I've done there, because boy, did I suck on this week's episode. But that's you guys. Yeah, that was it. But guys, no, once again, thank you very much. Do check out at Movie MT Rushmore, at the Silver Screen Dudes. That is coming back up, guys. I promise. We're just trying to balance the content correctly, and more importantly, yeah, Silver Screen Dudes on Facebook. Yeah, we're about everywhere. Just look for us, and we are available. Nico, anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Yeah, do keep tuned to the YouTube channel. I've been very absent from gaming live streams recently because I've been recovering from the global bastard. But there will be more of that coming soon. And yeah, find us everywhere for our wrestling podcast as well. All the same podcast platforms that the Movie Mount Rushmore is on. And you can find everything that we're doing at www.silverscreendudes.com.
That's the one. Okay, guys. Yeah, we're trying to wrap it here because thank you very much for 2 hours and a bit. So I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
I'm Nico Luro. Shout out to my Nicoholics. See ya.